Maybe it's easier to be live with your phone, with your iPhone.
Yeah, direct on Facebook. Yeah.
Direct on Facebook than trying to go to Zoom
All right, I
into
think it says we're live now. So let's see.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello. We are live.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. We're back. We were. Let us know in the comments if you can see us. If you can still see us as we, navigate these live stream times. We're not like a lot of folks that have the money to pay. I see Juan Luis. Juan Luis, hello. Juan Luis is live. Yeah, so we were talking about, I guess we are live. So we were talking about watching you. Hello. David Armando, how's it going? Hope you're all safe in Cincinnati. Elia, my wife, is watching from the bedroom. So we were talking about your start as a director. And you were talking about what was the first play. And you talked about how as a collective and ensemble, I remember you mentioned you used to do different things. Some of you did costumes, some did the lighting, some did like everything. You guys were a collective, and then is that how it came up? You direct the play, that type of stuff.
No, we had a process. We actually had an amazing process, and this process it took a year or two. And the way the process used to work is we will do research in a specific. It's a long process. I'm not going to go through the entire thing.
Yeah.
But the idea is after we decided what it's about, we will write scenes. Different people will write scenes, and when you were going to write that scenes, somebody on the other side will say, "Okay, I want to direct that part, or I want to write that scene, or I want to design that scene." So that's the way we used to create plays. So we usually I will direct a lot of the scenes at the time, but we will at the end we'll do the improvs. Who directs the improv? So but we did everything. It was an ensemble. We were not we had to do everything from the set, the lights, the sound. It was a theater career. It was not meaning we were doing the theater for a very specific reason. We still do. I'm still doing it for that reason. But essentially, we were doing theater to a political theater, very specifically political theater to talk to the community at the time. So it was like it could be an empty stage, and it's probably why a lot of my places still kind of have an empty stage because coming from that tradition.
Right, and then so do you remember what was the last play you were that featured you as an actor?
What was the last? Probably the last play that was an actor. It was a play called Hijos that we wrote collectively, and maybe no. I mean, we went to Nicaragua.
Wow.
During the Sandinistas elections.
And this was with Teatro La Esperanza, right?
Teatro La Esperanza.
And then the Latino Theater Company, how did that come about? So that was you started the lab first, and then how did Latino Theater Company come to start?
So my wife was from Los Angeles, and she wanted to move to LA. And she had a career. She had been in Suit for 2 years. She was an actress in Los Angeles, and she wanted to move to LA. We had her son, Fidel, and I didn't know what I was going to do in Los Angeles. I was not an actor or a director to audition or to, I had no idea how to navigate that part of it. But I did bring 2 plays with me. I brought Hijos, which was a play del Teatro La Esperanza, was going to allow me to do if I needed to do in LA. And actually, I had a translation of The Kiss of the Spider Woman, the play, who before it was a movie, before it was a great.
Juan Luis was in.
Yeah. And they had, I brought that. I never did it in Los Angeles. So I went to every theater to say, I have this to play. Would you allow me? I want to direct it. And of course, it was silly of me and naive. Everybody say no. So I had to get a job. I had never worked, only at the theater. And then I had to get one of the stamp jobs in an office.
Right.
And then my wife and I, we decided we had to do a play. So we did Hijos, the play, and we cast it, and we invited, she knew a lot of more actors than I.
And this was at the LATC?
No, this was at a little theater in East LA called Jorge Negrete Theater.
Wow.
It was right there on Whittier Boulevard.
Okay.
And it was tiny theater. It was like 99-seat theater with a very tiny stage. And I made a deal with the owner of the theater and said, I'm going to give you 50% of the box office, and we're going to do. We had no money. I think our budget for that play was $150. And that was all what we had on the savings. And that was going to be for the sets and lightings and everything. So that play could make a little bit of noise in LA. At the time, there was the Drama Log Awards, and we won the Drama Logs for so many things. And people came to see it. And Diane or Bush, one of the two who were the artistic directors of the LATC, came to see it. And they invited me for a meeting at the LATC. And they said they were building the theater. They said, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I would just like to have a room to train actors and rehearse with actors and all of that. And they say, okay, twice a week, you can have a room for 4 hours just to do a workshop and just to be with actors.
Yeah.
And I asked for a job, and they said, well, the only job we have is in the accounting department.
Oh, wow.
I said, yeah, I'm a great accountant. So they hired me to be in the accounting department dealing with the purchase orders for the productions or something like that.
Wow.
That's how it really started. And then I started out by I invited, I think at the time, 22 actors to be in the workshop.
Okay.
And we worked for a year. Every Tuesday, I'm going to say, and Thursday we met. We read a lot of plays, a lot of Latin American plays. We did a lot of exercises. We did a lot of readings. And a lot of people left after a while because, it was not their thing to be there. So the first play we did at the LATC, and that was in 1986, I believe, or 87 in January, February, was La Víctima. We did La Víctima, and it's
wow.
It was a pretty big success at the time, and it was great. By the time the lab has become really smaller, we probably had around 9 or 10 actors who really wanted to do this.
And now it's been a little over 35 years?
35 years.
35 years. Now, I know that the Latino Theater Company had to postpone its entire spring season. This is the second time we had to cancel Marta Carrasco's Perra de Nadie. First one, the government, ICE, didn't allow them into the country. And now this pandemic. And as most of you know, it's already a challenge to plan a whole season. Raising money for the plays by people of color, especially Latinos. What are some of the challenges LTC and the LATC are navigating currently, and how can people support the theater company during this time?
Well, wow, that's so many questions in one. But yes, we had to postpone. We started in March 14. We closed down the theater in a way.
Yeah.
We sent everybody home, working from home. We have a great staff and a great family, and it was really important for us to keep everybody employed, because we know for some of the people, for a lot of our employees, this is their livelihood.
Yeah.
So in my naiveness, I had no idea of how big this coronavirus was going to be. I thought maybe we can postpone and don't start the season until May.
Right.
But now I think it's not impossible. It's impossible that we are going to have a season on the spring.
Yeah.
And that's for sure. It's probably going to be canceled and then maybe postponed for 2021. We don't know. The challenges are that, I mean, it's too many questions right now that we don't know.
Yeah.
One big one for us is, will people be willing to come and gather inside the theaters? I mean, the great thing about it is that we have big theaters. So if we need to have social distances, we can actually limit
people
the audience. Limit the audience to 100 people or 150 people and be able to strategically sit them far apart from each other, even though we will be in the same room. I was thinking provide masks and provide gloves and provide. I think if it's possible, I think those are the things and expecting. And the biggest challenge, of course, is the overhead doesn't go away.
Right.
The overhead stays, so for a small company like us, we're trying everything to try to figure out how this overhead we're going to have to recuperate it somehow, or try to find out new funding that, understanding that before this, it was challenging because a lot of the foundations had shifted from giving money to the arts to giving money to social justice. My argument always had been, that's what we do as a Latino theater company.
Right.
I don't think all theater is about social justice, but I think the Latino theater company specifically, all our plays are chosen because they have issues that have a dialogue with the community, immediate dialogue,
right,
or urgent dialogue of things that are going on in our community about social issues. I think that is very, very important that people may say, you only do this type of place, because that's kind of our mission. Our mission is we need people to dialogue. So how people can help us, of course, one thing is going to be when we were open, and we were so excited. This year was so exciting.
I mean, we were so prepped. It's
such an amazing season with Colunca and Andrea Dorin, with Marta Carrasco and La Perra de Nadie, with La Víctima giving it a run, with
Just Like Us by Karen Zacarias.
Just Like Us by Karen Zacarias. That was our spring season. Then we were launching the community college initiative. So exciting. And that's
talk
really,
about you. Can you talk a little bit about that? About the student, the college, the community college thing?
Yes, we were doing some research, but we were doing La Víctima, and I was doing La Víctima with the students from UCLA and East LA College. I haven't done a student production in years. I never directed. I think, I really directed one play at UCLA in the 90s, I'm going to say. But I never done for a long time. So it was really important. Now that I retired, I thought I had more to contribute to young people. So I decided to bring these two communities together, the East LA College community with the UCLA community, and to do La Víctima and take it out to the community. Through that process, I discovered that it was free. We didn't charge, we take it out. And we had 400 people, 500 people everywhere we went. It was like, wow, it's amazing.
Right.
But it was free. So I started thinking, well, that it must be something about doing it for free, that all these people are coming. And some of them had never gone to the theater. So we started doing research, and we found out that community college students, and this research that we did, that 19% of them were homeless.
Wow.
And like 35% of the population, if not bigger, lives below poverty. 75% has issues with food, of not having enough food. So we decided to, this great, fantastic idea, to actually talk to the community college board and begin a program, an initiative that's called the Impact Initiative.
Right.
And that's going to do we were going to, well, we are going to do this anyway.
Yeah, we're still.
Yeah, we still do it. But we are going to give 3,000 free subscriptions to community college students this year, which was going to be kind of a class. They would have to register in the community college, and they would have to come to the play. They would have to write a response to the play on the website. And then at the end, they will have a survey. And then at the end of the year, every 6 months, I will give the students like a master class, like a 3-hour master class. I will go to the community college and do this. And it's so exciting. And you say, why? Because, suddenly I felt like a whole community was left out.
Yeah.
A very important culture and intellectual dialogue in our city, and for the only reason that they cannot afford to come to the theater. So I think that's part of this, amazing disparity and relationship to our young people and relationship to culture and art. And because, it's like I feel like I came back to the 1970s and the 1960s when we were doing the theater for the right reasons. I was very excited. That's an initiative. So hopefully we'll be able to. It's a huge investment for us because essentially we'll be giving 15,000 free tickets to the community.
One thing that I really liked also was about the subscription is that, for one, you're giving free tickets to community college students. The other part is that at the same time they're watching a play, majority of them are going to be watching a play for the first time, or they're watching a Latino theater company for the first time, or coming to the Los Angeles Theater Center for the first time. But also is that the way that we had set it up, or the way that we were setting it up, is that it was going to be done as a subscribership. So they were automatically be set up as subscribers. So they will be, selecting their plays, so that they're sort of becoming, and we're training them to be, theater goers for the future, and to keep coming back. And for folks that are listening, you can support those efforts by going to the latc.org/donate to continue to support these efforts during this time as we continue talking about this initiative and everything that we do at the Latino Theater Company. Jose Luis, I know we're both alike in that we like to be out and about. We like to dress up. So we did this just so that we can dress up. and this quarantine life is definitely not for me. I'm anxious and I want to go out. What has kept you busy, and what have you been doing lately?
It's a little insane for me because I never really I really don't know how to work on my house because I always felt that my home was the island as my refuge when I went to relax after I worked 14 hours a day. So I never set up an office because it was not what I do or anything like that. So I'm going to say, and also, I never realized I was kind of exhausted. I've been working so hard, and we all work so hard, but I was on a going since last year. And so the first thing was kind of, it's great. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have a meeting, but I do have meetings during the day still online. I'm trying to exercise as much as I can. It's difficult. It's hard to read, but it's great. I'm spending a lot of time with my wife, which is kind of fantastic, and try to figure out what the future is like, what it's going to be like. That's a lot of the time that it takes. And, I'm catching up with a lot of television series.
Yeah, I know. I was going to ask, I know that, folks may not know, we, I know that you last year or earlier this year you were watching Turkish telenovelas. Is that right?
Yeah,
Turkish telenovelas. We actually, Elia and I just watched a movie yesterday, a Turkish movie called Miracle in Cell 7, which was beautiful. What do you recommend on Netflix right now? Or on
I don't know. I mean, I must recommend things that are good, like, Carlos Gomez, who was in Destiny in the first version. He's going to be on a new show.
All right.
That is going to be on Monday night, I think, on the 13th at night. And it's a new show called Beauty and something about
Beauty and the
the Beast and the Beauty or something like that. So I think I want everybody to see. It's so important to support any programming that has Latinos. Just to see. I'm not telling you have to like it, but we have to support him because it's so important to keep this message going that we need Latinos more on the theater, on television, and movies. Meaning, we just need to have our presence as much as we can around. On this entertainment.
Definitely. So I guess we can open it up. I mean, how can for those that and then we can open it up if you want to put your questions in the comments and we'll go. I know Gabriel Rodriguez has a question, but how can people reach out to you? What's the next step for them to get started with you or work with you? I know that there's actors that want to work with you, or playwrights that maybe want to work with you, that want to work with the Latino Theater Company, that type of stuff. And then whoever wants to have...
As you know, meaning, and some people may know, for the first time in 35 years, we were going to open the membership for the Latino Theater Company. We've been the same members for 35 years. And it's down to be, it's 5 of us or 6 of us. And now we had sent invitations, I'm going to say around 65 people. We're going to have a workshop in the summer, how we started 35 years ago, and invite people and start the process of expanding the company for the first time with writers and designers and directors and actors. And in order to pass it on I'm very interested in a succession plan and moving the theater company to the new generation or to the new phase of what there is going to be. So and also when there is auditions, just come. You may not even be right for the role. It doesn't matter. As long as you're there, then I'll see you. The casting director will see you.
Right.
It's not that you're going to get that role or you're going to get that role. Important thing is that we get an introduction to you, or that I meet you, that I know what you're doing. I go to the theater a lot.
People can see you. People can invite you to plays.
That's right.
We have a question from Gabriel Rodriguez. Says, how do you convince a new audience community that Latino plays and playwrights are something that should be funded for the future?
Well, it's an interesting question because the funding really doesn't come from the audience.
Right.
The funding comes from somewhere else. What the audience can do is support the theater by being there, by engaging, by participating, and yes, maybe they'll pay to come into the theater, but you understand that the ticket sales is only a small portion of what the cost of a production is.
Right.
For a company. But so how do you convince an audience? I believe that people come to the theater for the first time, and the conversation is always, I should do this more often. I really enjoy this.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's inaccessible, meaning sometimes go to the theater and you're going to spend $200. No, I'm not going to go to the theater. I don't have that money.
Right.
And I think it's a relationship of engagement that we should begin. And this is what I'm trying to balance out, is we as artists trying to get to you, and you as an audience trying to engage with us and to find the middle ground. How can we do this? I think it's a dialogue.
Right.
I think it's beginning, and I think people beginning to understand the art form. It's an art form, it is an art form that not everybody has been exposed to, and people hear of the theater, they find it something boring.
Right.
You know, they don't have a real relationship to it.
Yeah.
That's
when I was in high school or even in middle school, I always associated theater with Shakespeare. It's interesting because I now do Shakespeare, but it was never introduced as sort of a performance or play. It was all about, or the way LAUSD used to teach it was just to read the play. And there was very limited opportunities for us to perform. And luckily I had always been involved in theater, so I wanted to do it. But when I would go back, recently and teach or want to do theater, and kids will be like, "Oh, Shakespeare," they associate it with Shakespeare because it was just read. And as the more that I became also an actor and then also an audience member, appreciating it more, and especially seeing myself on stage. I remember when I first went to the LATC was to see La Víctima. And I was just like, oh my God, like this is, I had never, it was amazing. I think because the first time actually I had went was to see Romeo and Juliet. This was way back in the early 90s. But to see La Víctima and people that looked like me was, a beautiful experience. So that's really cool. Gabriel, so in regard to this, the subscriptions, right now it's a pilot program only for community colleges, but I think if there's a university that wants to partner with us, definitely. We're just starting it out with
it's probably going to take off in the fall.
Take off in the fall, as we make it happen. I think that's if anybody has questions, we're still here. Navigating, to support the Latino Theater Company at the Los Angeles Theater Center. You can donate, I think, directly from our Facebook pages or going to our website, thelatc.org. We were both recently in Cincinnati working on a play, Destiny Desire by Karen Zacharias, and now that's been canceled. And as we navigate, these unprecedented and unsettling times together, what is coming up for you? I mean, even after this, what do you think? Well, you have the summer and the fall season, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna do Karen's play Just Like Us, and now we don't know yet. Probably not happen until next year. We're doing in the fall season. We are preparing for me to direct Sleep with the Angels, which is a new play by
Evelina, right?
Fernandez, and that's something that I will have to start working on. And then we have August 29 and The Last Angry Brown Hat.
Yeah, that was, so we had still originally planned. We have an amazing set of productions in the fall, very, I would say, Chicano centric. We have August 29. What's the other one?
Last Angry Brown Hat.
Last Angry Brown Hat.
Sleep with the Angels. La Virgen.
And La Virgen, which is, of course, our gift to the city of angels at the Cathedral of Our Lady of the Angels. Let's see. Juan Luis Vecino, he has a question. It says, during this epic time of utter uncertainty, how will you encourage artists to grow within the confines of their homes? Ooh.
Well, I mean, I was going to ask these questions to whoever is watching, because what I'm interested in, we're not going to be able to allow any showing videos because it's very, very expensive. So one of the questions that I have, would you be interested, because I think that's another way for us to have templates in the website, or 15 plays, and then discuss a play weekly. Mm-hmm. It's a structure, the storytelling, what do you think, what is the center of the play, how the characters evolve, why, how do we use, as time and space and relationship to a production, what is the relationship to this play, to Isari? I don't know. This is a way where in our confinements, I feel that it may be kind of an interesting relationship to engage some people,
Yeah.
to be able to have real conversations about the theater, and maybe we can show clips of different other things. I mean, I just we're trying to gain. This is the first one, and we're trying to figure out how would you like to be more engaged. What is something that also will benefit you out of this conversation that we can dialogue, because dialogue to me is the most important part of the theater, and it's actually the one that's beneficial for all of us and our understanding of the art form or its need and the social construct that happens in the United States.
Definitely. So this is for those that are just tuning in or just in the middle of that answer. This is the first of many things that we want to do. We're trying to work around with our union, to sort of see what we can play live, or as Jose Luis was mentioning, readings. We're going to be putting up our scripts, but we'll be interviewing the Latino Theater Company, our artistic family and affiliates and folks as we go on. And then we'll just go as we move on in time with a couple of questions. Roberta Martinez, how does one find out about auditions? We usually go through a casting director, or we post them on our website or social media. So it's pretty much finding out through those sources. As Jose Luis mentioned, we work with they work with an ensemble of the company. It's usually cast within there, and then moves on with roles that are needed to a casting director. David Armando, he's asked, this is for both of us. He says, I'm racially ambiguous at first glance, and thus when I'm auditioning for things, I'm never considered for Latinx specific roles. Have you guys worked with actors or know anybody who are in the same boat? And if so, what are things they did that helped them find success in being cast in the Latinx productions? Sorry.
I never cast by type. Right. We never cast by type, so it's important to know that we're not like. I mean, it's a lot about the actor itself. Meaning, if you come in and commit, and the way I cast. I'm trying every time I cast is trying to find the right. What is your range? What is your emotional range?
Right.
Do you have an emotional range? Do you have a range of skills that I can use when I'm directing you? So when I'm looking at an actor, when I'm casting, I'm looking at that more than if I'm looking at the type.
Right.
So I have no.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've actually. Oh, I guess I'm from East LA, Boyle Heights, and I've never really been cast as someone from East LA or Boyle Heights. I mean, that could be a good thing also. So, that's on my end. Diego de los Andes, how can we create worker class audience?
I'm sorry?
How can we create worker class audience?
Well, I think that's part of what we're discussing at the beginning. How do we allow working class audience to come into the theaters, into the space, and give them the opportunity to participate in this amazing dialogue that is culture and art and theater and intellectual discussion. This is a big question for us in the theater, just in general. We need to have theater that participates with its audience and its audience with its theater. That's very, very important.
Yeah. Henry Reese asks, will you be accepting scripts for this fall stage readings? Yes.
Yes, we are. Very soon, actually.
Yeah, we're going to be putting it up on our website.
Please, definitely.
Yeah, so I'll send that right now. It's going to be we'll post it on our social media, and our spring reading series got moved to the fall. It was already moved to the fall. It wasn't postponed or anything. If you have a script you would like to submit, you can submit it already. I mean, it's info@thelatc.org, but we'll have more of the requirements once we set that up. So, we're coming up to the end of our time. This has been fun. It's been a learning experience for us as we navigate, live stream and our computers and the sounds of outside. But I've had fun. I've got to know more about Jose Luis and, being an actor and a director, the Latino Theater Lab, and just the Latino Theater Company. So I'm excited to talk more with the Latino Theater Company members, those that are actors. We also have playwright and wife of Jose Luis, Evelina Fernandez, share some of that process, and all of our artistic family. We're going to try to do more of this type of stuff weekly. Go to our website, thelatc.org/donate. One of the beautiful things that Jose Luis and the company is able to do is continue to pay our full-time staff as we go through this. So that is a beautiful gift that they are giving us so that we can continue doing this type of stuff. So if you can support them, please do so. Once again, the latc.org/donate. We'll post it on our Facebook. But yeah, connect with us next week. We'll see who in the company will be joining us. To all you company members, who wants to be next? Jose Luis, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I can't wait to hug you again and see you again and be on in a theater with you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.